So let's start with the topic Hardy-Weinberg Principle. So have you ever wondered how the scientists know if a population is evolving or it is staying the same genetically over the generation? So here comes a principle which is known as Hardy-Weinberg Principle. This principle basically checks if a population is in a genetic equilibrium or not. That means if the genes in the population are stable or if the genes are evolving. So this principle was given by two scientists. One was G.H. Hardy and another was W. Weinberg. So they stated that in a random mating population, and that population should be a large random mating population, then the allelic or the genetic frequency should remain constant in the generations to come. That is, generation after generation or generation to generation, this allelic or genetic frequency should remain constant. And this definition, this is further called the genetic equilibrium. This is called genetic equilibrium. Okay, so the definition here is that in a large random mating population, the allelic or the genetic frequency should remain constant generation after generation, and this is known as the genetic equilibrium. So let's take a large population size. Now let's take a population. For example, this is a given area, and here suppose two types of individual are found, like this tall individuals are there, and here only some dwarf individuals are also present. So we know genetics, and so for tall individuals we can write capital T, and same goes for the dwarf individual, we can write small t. And now these two T's are what? These are alleles. So basically in a population, the gene type or the alleles, if we will say, there are two types: the dominant T allele, that is the capital T, and a recessive T, that is the small t alleles. These are found. So when we will see the mathematical equation for allelic frequency, then capital T, we will denote it like Hardy-Weinberg principle. It denotes the dominant allele frequency as small p, and small t, that is the recessive allele frequency, is denoted by small q. So since there are only two types of allele, so the equation here goes small p plus q equals to 1. That is, the dominant and the recessive allele equals to 1. Therefore the total of all alleles will be 100%. Okay, now next we will go to the genotypic frequency. This was the allelic frequency. Now next is genotype frequency. So here in this area we can see that these individuals are diploid. So the diploid individual, each individual gets two types of allele. Okay, so each individual gets two types of allele from their father and their mother. There's the father and the mother. So the genotype here will be, suppose here the genotype for tall individuals will be capital T and capital T for the diploid organism I'm showing. So this is what? Homozygous dominant individual, and this we will denote it as p square. And here again another type of dominant individual we will find, that is heterozygous, that is capital T small t. This is heterozygous individual. Here we will denote it as 2pq, and last is recessive individual. This is homozygous recessive, and we will denote it as q square. So the equation will come p square plus 2pq plus q square equals to 1. So this equation tells us the expected frequency if no evolution is taking place. Okay, if no evolution is taking place, then this is the genotypic frequency. So this is the expected genotypic frequency, and if the actual frequency differs from the expected value, it means something is causing change in the population and evolution is taking place. But here the genotypic frequency tells if p square plus 2pq plus q square equals to 1, then there is no evolution. So here this Hardy-Weinberg principle should follow 5 conditions to remain in equilibrium. If these conditions are fulfilled, then only the genetic equilibrium will be maintained. So the 5 conditions are: first is that the mating of the individual should be random. So the mating should be random. First, random mating of the individual. Second is there should not be any mutation. No mutation should take place in a given population. And third is no migration should take place. No migration. And fourth is no natural selection. No natural selection of individuals should take place. And the fifth one is it should be a large population. It should be a large population to avoid genetic drift. So these are the conditions to maintain Hardy-Weinberg equilibrium. So thank you.